Catching up with John Dickie now here at a little place we call Wood End, which has been in the news a little bit lately. Firstly, John, welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a privilege.
It's been an eventful little week to come over here. I mean, Cup weeks can have a fair bit going on, but fire's not that far from here, and a fair bit of action happening. Firstly, how is Old Town Road?
Yeah, he's fine. He's I couldn't be more pleased with him, to be honest. He hasn't left the note, which I was a bit worried leaving home. Auckland first time, he'd been away, but he honestly has licked the bowl every day and night.
Were you able to keep him here when the fire happened, or did you have to move him to somewhere else as well?
No, we made the decision to move him, along with a lot of other horses, as you know. It was one of those situations where you damn you do and damn you don't. So with a horse like this and many others, we had to take him off the property. Yep.
And he handled that part okay, because I saw him track work a little bit earlier, and he to me looks like he's handled it pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. He luckily enough that by the time we sort of evacuated, and take him around to Robbie Holmes's, he'd already eaten his dinner that night. He's that much like a guts, so it wasn't a problem to go to a strange place for the night. Hence we rang back in the morning, and he was a little bit sort of hairy-fairy when he got here. We sort of wondered where he was, but no, he's bounced back. You wouldn't even know.
He's only a young horse. He's one of the younger horses going around in the Cup, and I would imagine you're using this as a learning experience in a way, but he's actually a real chance as well. So it must be a bit of a juggling act for a horseman like yourself to, I suppose, guide him through this part of it.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly knew that he was good enough to be in the Cup, but the proof's in the pudding, isn't it? And he showed me at Ashburton that he deserves to be in the Cup, but I do believe he needs another year. I honestly believe he needs another year. The trip will help him. When he goes back to Auckland, he'll be a different horse, I can promise you.
Like, where's he come from? You know, I hadn't heard a lot of him before I came out here, saw Ashburton, I was like, wow. Saw him trial the other day against Rock and Roll Do, and I was double wow. And then I start talking to people, and they say he's so fast, straight line speed. Like, has he always shown this ability?
Not really. I mean, he spent his 3-year-old year in the paddock with a stone bruise that took 12 months to come out. And his very first start, he got beat on his merits. Joshua drove him, it was before he went to Victoria. And he went back, and one of Steve Telfer's, a nice colt called Chimichurri, went forward and led. And Josh went round, Bell sat outside him, and he beat us quite easily. And I thought, oh, he's a really good maiden. And I thought, oh, he just might not be as good as we thought. And then on the Monday morning, he had snot running out his nose, so he had to have a month, 6 weeks out, and started on again. And by that time, Josh and Sam had moved him Victoria, so we had no idea of this ability-wise, and he just took off after that. Yeah, it was good. It was good though, but we had no idea how much ability he had.
So he's just basically started showing you it, and each run he gets better and better.
That's sure. I mean, he won a maiden, and I think Zach come off the track and he said he'll win his first 5, and I think, oh well, we've got something here. He actually won his first 4. And then he ran second to Kango before we turned him out, and the rest is history.
I taught him the other day, they said he's been trained a little bit like a thoroughbred. Is that because of the age, like you're looking after him, not trying to race him, I suppose, in all the tough races all the time?
Well, I do. I think if things stay together and he's healthy and sound, he can race in another 2 or 3 cups in years to come. And I'm one person, I don't want to go to the well too early. There's plenty of time for him, if you know what I mean. He's certainly fit enough, but I won't get into of working him too hard just for this Cup. I know he's got a future in front of him.
Do you you don't mind travelling? You've been pretty good at it in Australia. I forget how many Breeders' Crowns you've taken away from us. But you'll travel with him?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you only travel if you've got a nice horse, don't you? So, and that's part of it. That's all part of the racing to get a horse into these elite level. And I'm a bit of a hands-on thing. I like to, if anything's going to go wrong, I'd like to be there with him, because it's not really fair to someone look after him and they do a good job, or anyone do a good job for you. But if something went wrong, I can blame myself. So
I caught up with Zach the other day after driving Merlin actually, and I was blown away by the speed, and I hadn't seen your horse trial before that. One of the things that Zach said in there, he said, exhilarating about driving horses that are fast. And, I've just seen this little horse, Merlin, that I think might have broke 26 his last quarter. And, he says that's what he likes about driving your horse as well. That high speed is just an intangible asset that you just can't measure if they've got that speed.
Yeah, for sure. It's something that, that's bred into them. And he's amazing to drive. And as Zach said many times, he's push button. He just flops around on his own, and unless you ask him, he won't go. He just sort of sits there. You give him a little flick and bang. It's just amazing speed. Yeah.
You worked him this morning. I wish I had known it was him. I saw this horse going past, and then the boys told me afterwards, and you'd actually just finished. But I got a couple of photos. Worked okay.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't push the button this morning, but he will go a bit quicker in a couple of days, and that'll be his lot. He only trialled on Wednesday, and that's what I mean by thoroughbred type of horse. He's only trialled Wednesday, and the cup's on Tuesday, so he needs maintenance work without sort of being real hard on him.
So when do you work him again next?
He'll actually hobble again tomorrow. I've done that purposely because after the fires he was meant to jog, and like I said, he got back, he was a bit airy-fairy, so I just give him the day off, and so he'll hobble again tomorrow, and that'll be his lot till Tuesday.
It's unique the way you guys prep them. I love it. Like you're going into a 2-mile race, and Mark Burden, I think they were doing theirs. They're doing all theirs Sunday as well. Where in Australia it's sort of 3 days out. It's unique the way you Kiwis go about it. I love it, and I love how open you guys are about the way you train them.
Yeah, I mean everybody's different, and again it's something I've done in the past, and yeah, I mean as long as you don't overdo it, of course. Like I said, he only trialled Wednesday, so it's just maintenance work, and but he is such an amazing winded horse. It's insane, He actually blew on Wednesday just a little bit, and then recovered really quickly. So, but no, I'm very happy with him. He's fit.
It was a little bit warmer on Wednesday. There's a chance that on Tuesday it might be that way as well. So it's a little bit with that conditioning trial, probably good for all three of the horses. Krug and Rock and Roll Do, I think, all would have benefited because it is starting to warm up from time to time now. It probably benefited them a bit getting conditioned to it.
Yeah, I think so. Going into the trial, I said, he doesn't need that hard a trial, but I'm glad coming out of the trial, what he done, he showed me, and he was full of grass. That's my own fault for leaving him out too long. And he will drive a better horse, but they all will. They all will. And but he did blow up over the back, and it's generally not his style. He generally is clean-winded.
You watch good horses. I'm fortunate enough I get to see a lot of good horses, and you watch good horses. Then you see X-Factor horses, and all three in that trial are X-Factor horses. They actually look like they were going about 320, 325 bat. Like they just seem to coast you. I'm not going to ask you to pick, say yours is better or the three of them, though, quality horses, just seem to do it so easy. And then you hear the times and you're just like, wow.
I know, that's exactly how I thought. I was just watching the trial just like everyone else, and I thought, they're not going that quick. And then someone said, well, the fractions they ran, it is quite deceiving. And good horses do that. I mean, you look at them, you see other horses that you think, geez, they're flying, and but cup horses are different types of animals.
That X factor that a lot of blokes talk about. Quickly, the stable, you're going all right. You come down here and you leave the staff, and you'd have to be extremely impressed with the job they did last night, getting a double for you.
Yeah, no, my partner Linda and Stephanie Burley comes in and gives us a hand, and we've got another guy, Robbie. They've done a great job, and we're only working 8 horses. In fact, they're only working 7 at home, and that's all we keep today these days. So we've done a really good job, really good job. I thought they'd win, and they got the job done.
The young guy, Hurley, did he drive them both? I know he drove one for you.
Who was that? Sorry.
Is it the young guy Hurley drove them?
Mark Hurrell. Mark Hurrell. Yeah. He drove the junior. I've never met Mark, actually. Yep. Nothing against Mark. We actually ran Crystal Hackett to see if she could drive it, but she was driving one of Barry's who she works for, and Mark's her partner, so that's how we got the drive. Yeah.
And he deputised. He did an okay job, and then Zach got another one for you, which is good. It's always good to keep sweet with the boss from Zach's point of view. Keep him sweet with you before he gets back here.
Yeah, for sure. Going back to the Mark's drive, it was penalty free, being a junior drivers race, so he stays in the same grade. And the one that Zach drove, he's a pretty smart maiden actually. He's just taken a while to get to the races.
Are you enjoying it still, training horses? You've always done it with Josh, and as I said, you've travelled with plenty of horses. You still enjoying it?
Yeah, well, funny enough, when I wanted to take a back step and concentrate on training a few thoroughbreds, actually, and then this horse come along and sort of changed it again. But enjoying the ride, yeah, exactly. Yeah, love it.
It's all good and fun. Just very quickly, how many Breeders' Crowns have you won?
I've had 5 starters for 5 winners. I hope you're listening, Mark and Natalie, because I don't know if it can ever be done again. I'm not sure, and that's my claim to fame.
Are you going to take any more back, or are you just going to rest on it?
No, I don't think I'll ever line one up again. In fact, the last one we won, he ran second by a nose and got promoted, so I think that's an omen on the wall.
I think it's a great little stat. I wasn't sure if it was 6 or 7, but 5 from 5 is even just as good. John, thank you so much. He hasn't come up to see us. He's here in the paddock, but thank you very much for a bit of time, and good luck on Tuesday. But I look forward to seeing you back in Australia as well with this horse. And I encourage all the Aussies to keep a good eye on him because he's an excitement machine, and he's a dude to look at as well. So well done, and look forward to seeing you in Australia shortly.
No, thank you very much. Appreciate it.